Jim Holley, Supercross Live on supercrossonline.com, and to the left of me, Jason Weigandt.
Yeah, listen, let's just make this more comfortable. This is what we're used to. Jason Weigandt, Jim Hollywood Holley. We're going to break it down post-race here, Monster Energy Supercross from St. Louis. And I'd say this, Jim, we've had about 2 months straight of crazy races. We finally had a normal one. No crazy drama, no crazy crashes, no crazy incidents. And the guy who they say is the fastest man on the planet was the fastest man tonight.
He proved it tonight, and I mean, he showed a lot of emotion on that stage. I mean, at one point, you know, I mean, he just couldn't hold back the tears. I mean, he had to let it out. I mean, this guy puts so much pressure on himself. He knows he's the fastest man. I mean, look at all the everything he's been through. You know, Larry Brooks is gone, his team manager. He buys into the team. I mean, he has just got so much pressure, and for him to come win this, I mean, think about it. It's been a long time since James Stewart's won. We got to go all the way back to Anaheim, February 5th. That was the last time James Stewart won, and now he is only 16 down for that championship, 3 to go. And I told him, I said, you know, James, it's ironic. Do you know how many points you have? 259.
I know.
One of your old numbers, you know. And so, I mean, but it was a great ride. I thought Dungey rode well to finish up in that second, and he's only 5 out of that championship. You know, Villapoto was coming up. He got a bad start. He got behind Chad, had a little help with the tough block getting in the way of Chad. I thought Kennard might have been trying to come on to Chad. It looked like he was coming, and then all of a sudden he kind of sat still a little bit. So I don't know if that's, you know, maybe he got tired or something, who knows. But Reed finishes up in that 4th, loses a few points to Villapoto, and Kennard in that 5th spot. But it was a great night of racing. I think that that triple section over there did it. Stewart did it that first lap, then Dungey started to do it, Villapoto started to do it. I never saw Reed do it, and I never saw Kennard do it. So you gotta, when it comes time in this championship, 3 to go, you gotta start doing things that are gonna make the difference, and it made the difference for James Stewart tonight.
Now, one rider in the lights class really made a difference. It's been a pretty wild light series as well, but going into the finale in Vegas, it looks like Justin Barcia is in pretty good command of this. He wins the race. He's a 20-point gap. Looking good for the 17.
Well, it is, and the other thing that the number 17's been battling is that wrist injury. Now he'll get a little bit of time to get that thing healed up before we see him race again on May 7th in that final one in Las Vegas. But it was a good win for him, 3 on the season for him. But, you know, I was more happy to see Blake Baggett get on that podium. You know, he finishes up 3rd, and him and Sipes back on the podium after the disaster weekend he had last weekend, finishing 17th. And those two guys, I thought, had a really neat race. I mean, real clean. They were back and forth. It was exciting for the fans here in St. Louis, but we'll see. I don't know what happened to Wilson. He just got a bad start, and he really didn't look like the Dean Wilson we saw, you know, winning a lot of races. But he'll be back. All these guys on the East Coast, they get a break, something different. Their final round will go into Las Vegas, and we pick it up next weekend in Seattle, where the 2 Monster Energy Pro Circuit guys are both battling injuries. Josh Hansen with that hand injury, Brock Tickle breaking the collarbone after San Diego. So hopefully those guys are ready to go do battle. And you know what? No more domes. See you, St. Louis. It's all open stadiums, and we've seen in the past what happens in Seattle and Salt Lake City. Vegas, we all know, is going to be hot, dry, hard, blue groove track, nice starting line on the outside, you know, and a fast track. But that's it, man. We're done. We're flying home.
This is what we're saying, folks. It might have been a fairly calm night tonight, but I think over these last 3 rounds, we're going to see something crazy happen in Seattle, Salt Lake City, and Vegas. So, hey, I can still say this, right? Get your tickets now, supercrossonline.com. Anything else to add?
You didn't lose it.
I'm kind of like James, man. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, you're back. It's been a long time, man.
Well, thanks for watching the show, folks. Catch us in Seattle. Then we're going to have a weekend off, try to catch our breath, and then have a big finale with 2 more rounds.
Yeah, and you mentioned that weekend off, the only weekend off for these guys riding the Supercross class. I mean, it's a hard run, you know, starting in the beginning of January and running hard all the way till Easter, but well-deserved for these boys.
All right, we'll catch you next week in Seattle.